Hey guys, Luton here, and this is just going to be a little short video, a little update video today. This was the kind of most appropriate thing that I could throw in here at this time. You probably noticed I haven't really posted anything for about a week. I've just had an exceptionally busy week. As you guys know, YouTube is not my full-time thing. I also had some personal stuff, just life, you know, and for example, I had one of my wisdom teeth taken out this week, so that sucked. Meant I couldn't really sort of speak too well for a couple of days as well. So just a few things like that going on. I wanted to update you about the channel and other things like this. For example, I'm going to make probably another video just to talk a little bit about it, but for example my ISP, that was another thing that was getting changed over end of last week, and ISP is now completed in its changeover, so I've gone from Virgin Media to BT. It completely resolved the issue. Don't have bandwidth problems anymore, means I can live stream very reliably, which is really good. So if you don't follow me on the live stream, consider coming and checking me out this evening when I play Arma 3. Play Arma 3 every Friday, Battlefield or something along those lines, tactical on Monday nights, and random games on Wednesday nights. So come and follow me on Twitch, that's in the links below. And as I say, it'll be this evening, so come and join me this evening. Usually start on Fridays about 11:30 GMT. So the channel, anyway, I'm going to make another video talking about this in general, right, and probably a couple of things, but Hardline, interesting how Hardline has been, I think fair to say, a relative disaster in terms of like just how well it's been received. You guys know that I was probably the most skeptical out of a lot of people about this game. It would seem fair that, you know, I get pulled up a lot on, you know, people, oh, you're not optimistic enough. Kind of got proved fairly on the money there. So yeah, being consistently optimistic about games all the time and things isn't necessarily always the best thing, because it means that it leads to kind of over-leaning expectations. It means that you kind of end up you're so over positive that you expect, and then you've got further to fall, you know. So I think for a lot of people it's kind of like, look a little silly that it's kind of, you know, been so overblown and then ended up being this kind of mess. But yeah, Hardline, the patch for example, it's just been very weak. They haven't really added in, I don't know what they can do at this point, to be quite honest with you. I mean, clear that people haven't embraced the game, despite many things. I've thought about it a lot. I'll probably make a video talking about it before I finish off, but I don't think I'm ready to finish off sort of making content there. I don't really have any inclination to make content about Hardline. I just don't feel that passionate about the game. It hasn't captured my imagination. It hasn't gone down the route that I wanted to see, of more hardcore objectivity and more sort of realism in terms of the weapon handling and all this kind of stuff. It's just been not what I wanted, and I think probably not what a lot of the Battlefield audience wanted, to be quite honest with you. They seem to have kind of gone down this route that they, I don't know, championed for some reason, and it's just not really working out. With that in mind, what kind of content could you expect from me? I mean, obviously I lined up before Hardline and I was expecting to kind of get on board and actually have good times and feel really sort of thrown into it. And I was expecting that from the beta, you know, the enjoyment that I'd had would carry on into the videos, and that I would be able to sort of, you know, I was going to do tactical stuff. And it becomes more and more clear to me that in the majority of public games, sort of tactical stuff is just not relevant as it was. That's an issue for me, because it kind of is frustrating and sucks, and it's not really something that, you know, appeals to me then. So going on, my idea really in a series that I was thinking about today is, I have some pretty strong thoughts about like what Battlefield 5 needs to be in order to be a success. This kind of casual, crazy, let's have kind of bullshit silly moments clearly isn't working for the series. It's been a fair disaster. This attitude and approach to it is just, I guess, not what the majority of people want. I'm kind of pleased to see that in many ways. I'm actually also really pleased to see that people are voting with their feet and actually saying, like, I'm not interested in this, I don't want to buy it. It's a good thing, actually. I'm quite pleased to see that the kind of ridiculous, like, stupidity of like la ha 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 hasn't necessarily won through in terms of sales. People want something they can kind of really get into a little bit more. So that's a good thing from my point of view, I guess. So yeah, my idea is to really sort of make some videos, and I've got a lot of thoughts about things that we could put in, and I'll discuss about my ideas, and I think that's going to be a good series. So that's one thing I'm looking to do. The 40k stuff, that will continue. The Total War stuff will continue. Total Warhammer as well, coming along the way. Probably start bleeding that in more, because I'm really interested in that. Obviously Arma 3 will continue, and I'm looking for ways in which I can do that kind of more, some other elements and things. So I'm trying to think of some Arma 3 ideas I can push forward there. Probably some more of the much more tactical stuff, the EU3, proper radio communication things. a lot of people keep saying, Luton, why don't you join like a attack sim thing or military sim, or you know, these groups that do it, like obviously Shack Tack and stuff like this. The thing is, a lot of those guys require a large amount of time invested, which is just completely impractical for me. They often require like multiple days out of the week practicing, which makes total sense for what they're doing. You couldn't do it unless you do that. But just for me, it's completely impractical. It just wouldn't work. Not to mention the fact that, for example, several of these often have like a month's waiting time. But not just that, it's a, you know, I'm a fairly serious person when it comes to games, but it's a little too far for me. It reminds me of there was a guild that I tried to join for FPS just after I finished World of Warcraft, and they were like taking it's a little silly. You know, you're sitting in a lobby and they're making you speak as if you're like having like a proper sort of military interview, and it's kind of like, okay, there's serious and there's serious, you know, and it's like it's a little much for me. It's you know, it's just kind of like, oh, come on guys, you know. So yeah, that's probably why I wouldn't go into that route. The 40k stuff is really interesting and cool. I'm getting so much more into the 40k stuff as I go along. I don't really know if it's going to be like a massively popular thing on the YouTube channel, but maybe if I sort of spread it between things, it will be. I just really love 40k. Like, the more I get sort of caught back up into the lore and stuff lately, I get really excited about it. And there's some cool stuff coming along. There's things like Eternal Crusade. I've been actually speaking to the developers there, and I don't know what that game is going to be like, but I'm very excited that the prospect is there. So there's that, and then there's obviously other bits and pieces that I can do, continue the lore series. I want to do some more modelling stuff, so that'll be cool. I'm just really looking forward to it, but I just got to try and like schedule it around everything. That's the difficult thing. The other thing is, there's another game coming along the lines called Squad, and you've probably seen a little bit about this. I'm going to be able to talk about this a bit more soon. Squad is right bang on what I need. It's Squad basically sits between Battlefield as it is and Arma. It's basically the guys who did the Project Reality mod, and Squad is something that I'm extremely interested in. I have had some hands-on already. It's looking really good. It's in early stages, but it's definitely, like, you can't play it as an idiot. You get punished immediately. You can't just run around. It just doesn't work that way. You have to play it objectively and seriously, and if you don't play it like that, you'll just get absolutely wrecked, and you won't. It's not like you can just run around and solo. That just can't happen. It just, the mechanics and the way in which it plays out just don't allow it. Not to mention the fact that they'll have sort of proper adminning and stuff going on, so if you do just kind of dick around, you'll be just kicked straight away. So it's a really, really interesting concept. It looks really good. The guys I've been speaking to are really, really nice guys, and I'm looking forward to playing some of that as well. It's much more up my street than the kind of crazy hashtag funny moments bullshit, which seems to be prevailing like a nightmarish tidal wave lately. So yeah, that's on par as well. And then, of course, there's Battlefront stuff. The reason I tried to think of other things in Battlefront is because I don't want things to just be like a Battlefront tidal wave, which I'm absolutely sure other YouTube channels are going to do in the next sort of 6 months. And I don't want that to happen, because I'd probably shoot myself in the face rather than do that, because if I do like some videos on that line, which I have done already. I mean, you've already seen that my YouTube series is called Hype Wars. You know, I always look at this stuff a little sarcastically, because I just think it's funny. Just like, it's just such freaking clickbait, you know. It's like so anyway, that's my ideas. Sorry for my slight rambleness, it's quite late, and I just wanted to sort of put a video out there as like a little update for you guys, but maybe my ramblingness comes across a little bit more real talky than just like, serious, this is my bullet point action plan of what's going to happen, you know. So I thought I'd do a little bit more like this. I don't think there's anything else I want to mention really. Yeah, I think that's just about where we are. So yeah, so Battlefield, looking to the future. Oh, there is one more thing. There's obviously like the jungle maps and stuff, and that's obviously got a fair bit of development. I don't know how fast that's going to come. I already made my video talking about the jungle maps. I want to start concept arting some stuff, and you guys know that like my actual work is, I'm a designer, but I also do illustration. My university degree was illustration, and so I've done a few concept art bits and pieces. I would love to do that one day, but it's not really on the cards, but you know. Anyway, so I would love to do some concept art of, say for example, the jungle map, and maybe some things for Battlefield 5, you know. I can start thinking about maps and designs and layouts and overalls and vehicles and engagements and all this kind of stuff. Do some really, really cool ideas. So I think that would be a lot of fun. We've got plenty of time to do it. Give me plenty of time to play with some bits and pieces, And not to mention the fact that actually, you know, I can do that live. I actually have it all set up on the computer, and I've actually just been rebuilding my reference library on another hard drive. I cleared a hard drive the other day so I can put all reference stuff onto it, just so that I can use it for live drawing. So it could be cool to have some live streams where I actually do like live drawing, and we can like, you know, maybe brainstorm ideas and like bash some ideas out. That could be something that's a little bit more interesting. So you throw some ideas out, and I literally physically draw them. It's all time. You know, when can I fit this in? When can I do it? You know, YouTube and all the rest of it doesn't generate enough, you know, sort of income and views and revenue to be able to actually support me. So it's all stuff I have to do around my real life, and that's always the issue for me: is time. When can I make the content? How much can I do? And if I've said this many times before, if I was doing this full time, I'd be bashing out like 2-3 videos a day, no problem at all, plus live streaming on top. But I don't, so I can't. So you just have to take what you can get, and so that's what I've been trying to do, and that's my action plan, that's my ideas for things to come. If you think there's any games that I have missed that you think would be worth looking at, then please do mention that. Obviously I will also be doing Looting Gaming, and Looting Gaming is my second YouTube channel. On there I have like Skylines, which I've been doing lately, and reviews of new little bits and pieces, indie games, other things, and that's all done on top of everything else. So yeah, you can start to see that my patchwork of ideas suddenly becomes a huge amount of stuff to do, but it's all good. That's what keeps me going. You know, I've said before, I couldn't do just one game. I think I'd go crazy if I had to do just one game constantly. I love to just be all around and do lots of different things, and that's what keeps me interested and coming up with ideas and sort of talking about stuff and being more sort of varied like that. Just doing one thing and be like banging my head against a wall, I just couldn't do it, you know. I don't know how some people do it either. I just, like, fair play to them, you know. Anyway, that's my rambling, ranting update for you guys. Drop any thoughts, comments, questions you have below. Happy to answer them. Come and join me in the live stream tonight, and I'll see you next time. Loads of stuff coming up very soon, and as I say, this week has been very busy for me, but we'll be back on form pretty soon. One last thing, actually, I should say, I have actually got a lot of stuff happening around in this next week in terms of my house. So I don't know how that's going to affect the schedule next week as well, but we'll see what happens. I'll try and get some bits and pieces together. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, I'll see you next time.
Nemeroth plans to use the power source to trigger his transformation into a demon prince.
Abomination!
How can we stand against such a creature?
I will kill Nemeroth when he's most vulnerable, during the transformation. Safeguard Sidonus until the apothecary arrives. Then join the Imperial attack.
Going alone is suicide. Or worse, we know the enemy takes great interest in your connection to chaos.
Do you fear my falling to chaos?
Of course not. Whatever lies behind your resistance, it can only be to the enemy's favor.
Why? Perhaps this resistance can get you close enough for a killing blow.
I will destroy Nemeroth with skill and steel, or die trying. If this resistance comes into play during battle, so be it.
So be it.